Hi and welcome. Today we are going to have a short little video on taking the Walther PPK apart and maintenance of the Walther PPK, how to clean it. So here we have a made in France Walther PPK S in 380. So we're going to start by making sure that the gun is unloaded. So magazine have already been removed, and we're never going to trust just that. So we're going to make sure that the chamber is clear. So we're having a good view on the chamber. Fantastic. The chamber is clear. So nice little pistol that we're having here. It's a very fun little gun to shoot. Now we're going to go over how to take the gun apart and how to maintain that gun. So to take the Walther PPK apart, you are going to have to press out the trigger guard. So the trigger guard is hinged and you're going to have to hinge it down. So you can set it aside, just moving it slightly to the side so that the hook itself to the frame of the pistol. Now, disadvantage with this is as soon as you bump it, well, this is what happened. So how I do it is I pull it out, I take a little pencil, I just put it in there, and it gives me an extra set of hands, plus it's convenient, it stays there. Okay, so it's gonna get out of the way for me. Now the next step is going to pull the slide all the way back and as far back as possible, and then lift it up and moving it forward. I'm going to show you how that's done. So I'm moving it all the way back, lift it up, and slightly guide it out. Okay, so not much to it. This is the slide you're having right here. Your recoil spring, fixed barrel on the PPK. So this is that's just taking it apart, so it's pretty easy. Now the next thing you can do, it's a little bit tricky, especially in front of the camera, would be to remove the spring itself. So I'm going to turn it clockwise, so this releases a little bit the tension on the spring. It's a directional spring, so obviously the open end is going towards the gun and the closed end is going to be towards the muzzle of the gun. So not taking it apart, but taking it just right out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to apply the product. So when I apply product, today I'm going to be using a CLP. When you apply the product onto the gun, what I like to use is a little acid brush. I'm going to show you how to use this. This is not a small paint brush. This is actually an acid brush. You find it on Amazon. I will link all the tools to the video so that you have it. But if you use a small paintbrush with chemical product on it, that's going to make a mess. So this is specifically designed to deal with chemical products. So we're going to have this. Well, the product I'm using today, by the way, is going to be break-free CLP. It's clean lubricant and protective agent. So all in one. So you're going to be using this product to actually clean the gun. You're going to use it again to lubricate and protect the gun itself. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to take the product and I'm going to give it like a little bit of a spray inside the barrel. So just a tad of spray inside the barrel itself. Good, just like that. The next thing I do, this is me, it's a little trick. So take the cap, and since it's a very foamy material, I put a little bit of the product on it. Okay. I can set this aside right there. Perfect. So I'm going to have a little bit of the product in there. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little acid brush, dip it in a little bit of the product, and what I'm going to do next is to apply the product all over the metal part. Right? Because this gave me a good control of how much product I put onto the gun. And don't forget those serrations, those little grooves that you have here. Because over time, racking the gun, you're going to have skin deposit into those little grooves. And skin is a charge in salt essentially, so you're gonna have corrosion if you don't take care of it. So you can use the product all over the farm. So we want to apply the product onto the gun, set it aside. I'm going to do the same for the frame barrel assembly. So we have the rails, same thing, not forgetting the fitting ramp here, obviously. So you have a tendency to carbonize. Well, this gun is not really dirty. It's not really that dirty today. We shot it, but not much. Right, you apply the product all over the pistol, just like that. Now you want to be careful with this little part right here. This gets pushed up by the magazine when you run empty to lock the slide open. So that's essentially the slide catch if you want. So you want to be careful not to just to pull it out. There's a tiny little spring here. Let's see if I can show you that. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's a little spring right here. So you don't want that to pop. It would be problematic. Let's put it this way. Good. All right, so you apply the product. The next things I like to do is to use my little nylon bristle brush. And again, you can buy it by pack of, I believe it's 3 on Amazon for somewhere around, I don't remember, $5 or something like that. You're gonna have it for a very long time. And you wanna make sure that it is the nylon you're using. They do sell it in steel and copper. Don't get the steel or copper, you won't need it. The problem is they look identical. You may get distracted and pick the wrong one, and when you brush your gun, you will scratch the finish on it. So a nylon, you're not gonna scratch anything. Clean the grooves in line with it, and notice you have some lines here for the safety. So same thing, when you maintain it in line with those grooves, and you can brush all over the gun. And we're gonna do the same for the opposite part. Very good. And front side, rear side. Right, set it aside. We're going to be doing the same for this part. Right, on this you have a small brush that you can use if you need access, especially in the cutout for the extractor that you have right here. It's really easy to access with that. Right, and just brush it. I'm going to do everything on the outside first. So notice I'm going to address the barrel only at the end. And the reasons for that is I don't want to clean the barrel, then start brushing carbon into it. So this will allow, using that a nylon brush allows me to separate essentially all the carbon deposit that the product could not separate. Now this tends to be sometimes a messy job depending on what gun you're using. So I recommend you protecting whatever surface you're using to actually clean that gun, whether it's dining table, kitchen table, patio table. It doesn't matter where you're cleaning it, but just protect it, or using a cotton rag for that. Right, so I'm brushing it. Next thing is I'm going to be cleaning the bore of that barrel, rifle bore, and for that I'm going to be using a copper brush. Now I have a nice, neat little cleaning kit that I'm using. It's easy, especially when you travel for your range bag. Clean bore, the pocket kit. Again, I will link the product in the description so you have it, but very handy little thing. So you have serves as the grip itself serves as a container, and then you attach the rod into it. So now you have a little handle. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to run that brush, and I'm going to be using a 9mm caliber for that. Okay. So 380, 9mm, 38, 357 is going to be the same thing. So we ran it a couple of times back and forth. Voila. So I run the brush into it, I can actually take a look at the bore and tell that it's pretty nice. I don't know if you guys can see this. Very nice, very clean. Good, excellent. So I'm gonna do that. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove that little copper brush from that cleaning rod. I'm gonna put that little cotton patch into it. You can use also a little piece of fabric or cleaning patch. I'm gonna just run this into it. Very good. Very good. Inspect the barrel. Very nice. Set this aside. Next thing, I'm gonna take a old t-shirt or cotton rag, and I'm going to wipe all the dirt, all the carbon, everything I have out of the gun. It's a real rewarding job. Good. Excellent. I'm gonna make sure that we wiped everything clean, so this gun doesn't pack much dirt, so that's a good thing. But I'm gonna wipe it down. Right? So I do this for the frame and the barrel, and I'm gonna do the same here. And wipe everything down. Very beautiful gun. Very sexy gun, actually. The 380 is not exactly the most powerful round, but again, shot placement, right? You shoot the bad guy with a bazooka and you miss, you miss. You shoot the guy where it counts with a smaller caliber, you get him, So marksmanship and training important. So now the gun is pretty much clean, but before we're gonna reassemble the gun, now we're gonna oil it. So remember, we're using a CLP, so this I will take my little acid brush, I clean it up a little bit, and now I'm gonna use the same brush as an oil applicator, so I don't put too much oil. So I'm gonna place it where I'm gonna have friction. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of shine here and on the rails here. So I don't know if you can clearly see it. So I have contact here on the opposite rails, and I'm gonna do the same for this. So on the barrel, and I'm gonna apply it also on the opposite rails here. One, two here, a little bit on the chamber hood right here, and a little tad here. So I'm not going excessive with the oil. Spring, we're gonna make sure the spring is in a good condition. The spring has been replaced. It's Walther spring has been replaced as the gun is not exactly new. And now I'm going to start the spring and load it. I turn it clockwise. Just release the tension on the spring itself as I place it there. Good. So the spring is back in place. Now I'm going to take the slide, and this is where I'm going to start with the front. Same idea. Making sure that you can push. I'm going to push the barrel straight back to it, lower the slide back, and guide it to its closed position. Good. Now I'm going to grab that little pencil, remove it, close the trigger guard, and the gun is reassembled. Right? So checking the gun, making sure function check it, make sure everything works good. Very beautiful piece of equipment here. Very nice gun. This one's been made in France. I'm gonna do a shooting video of this gun. I haven't shot it on camera in a long time, so I don't know if camera zooms in. Made by Manurin in France on the license from Walther. So it's a post-World War II pistol, obviously. Very nice. very nice, reliable gun. So yeah, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. Obviously, that always helps. Thumbs up helps also. And if you have any other experience with the French Mandarin or the Walther PPKs or PPK in general, you like it, you don't hesitate to post it in the comments. If there's any other maintenance video that you want to see, same thing, post it in the comment. I do read those comments. I hope this have helped one of you, and until next time.